Hi, welcome to the next tutorial at Replay Studios. And in this tutorial we'll be looking at bass drum EQ. Bass drum EQ is one of the most important aspects of any type of mix, because the bass drum is the true foundation of a song, probably more so than bass guitar. So it's very important to get the fundamentals correct while making a song and while doing the EQ of the bass drum, so that the whole mix and the rest of the mix can sit together very nicely. So to start off with, I'll be playing the entire drum track with the processing applied, and then I'll take the processing off. One very important aspect of this is, in this particular mix, we've actually got three microphones for the drums. So as you can see, you've got the kick in and the kick out. Kick drum and bass drum is the same thing. So here the kick in, which will be a microphone that is placed inside of the kick, close to the batter head. So this is the microphone where you'll get more of the high-end information, more of the attack. The kick out, or bass out, bass drum out, is the microphone that you'll have slightly outside of the bass drum. So you can pick up more of the low frequencies and the actual body of the bass drum. And in this example here, we've got room B, which is the room microphone capturing the bass drum quite a distance away, so that you can actually see and hear how the room is reacting to the bass drum, which is a very, very important aspect of the sound. Luckily enough, in this mix, we've got the three components, and what you try and do is you mix these three elements together. Each of them try and bring out a different aspect of the bass drum. This is something very important in modern mixes, because a lot of instruments, typically bass guitars, electric guitars, and drums, each element, instead of having just one microphone on each instrument, in this case, we'll be considering that the bass drum is a particular instrument and not the whole drum. And the bass, these three elements, what happens is at each microphone will be picking up a certain aspect of the sound. In this case, the kick in will be picking up the higher frequency content. The kick out will be picking up the lower frequency content, and the room will be picking up the actual sound of the room, more so than the actual bass drum. So we'll hear this. I'll just pass this through a few times, and then I'll take the processing off and explain the logic between each of them. Okay, here's the full drum with all processing applied. Okay, I'll put it on again, and I'll slowly remove the processing. Okay, so without the processing, you can see that it lacks punch and it lacks body. There's no body behind the bass drum. So now we'll look at each of the individual components of the kick drum. As you can see, these are some other forms of processing that are also very, very important on drums. To me, the most important thing on drums is saturation. And this is a tape plugin from Universal Audio. Sorry, a tape plugin from Universal Audio, which is very, very important in getting a full-bodied drum sound. You can use any type of tape emulation, or you could use any type of saturation or distortion plugin. So now, for the sake of this tutorial, I'll leave the saturation plugins on because we'll be looking primarily at EQ, but in a further EQ, we'll be looking specifically at saturation. So I'll switch the saturation back on, the tape plugin and the saturation. And now I'll switch only the EQ on. Okay, the EQ makes it nice and defined and more balanced, which is what we're looking for. So now let's look at what we do to each component of the drum. I'll start off with the outside drum, which is a drum which has the bass in it. So let's just hear this individually with the EQ off. Okay. Nice low sound. Now I'll switch the EQ on. Okay. So what are we actually doing with the EQ? The first and most important part is this resonant frequency that I'm putting on. As you can see, the value is 55 Hertz, which corresponds to the A note, the low A note, which is, as you can see with our trusted friend Music Math, 55 Hertz, we can see that 56 Hertz, 55 corresponds to A, which is not actually the tone of the song, but it complements it well. So what we see is we apply a resonant frequency at 55. I'll put it on and off. Okay, this defines the root notes of the entire song. Okay. You'll notice something else, and I'll only apply this to this one track. There is no high pass filter. Okay. Do not usually apply a high pass filter to the lower end of the drum. I'll put it in here and then I'll switch it off so you can see the difference. Okay, just leave it as it is. Later, if it does need some type of EQing, generally what happens is that you'll use it in the mastering stage. Another very important aspect of drums, not the snare drum, but essentially for the toms and for the bass drum or the kick drum, is you take out a section of the mids, because this usually makes drums sound tubby, and it actually clouds the entire mix. This is an important factor of mixing, is that you take stuff away from the drums in this region so that the vocals and electric guitars and pianos can push through better in this range. And this range is very important for vocals and for electric guitars, for example. So what you do is you find the fundamental tone of your song, You give it a high resonant boost. Not in this way, for example. What you're actually trying to do is make the A note in this particular song sing out, or it could be the B note or the C note or any type of other note, depending on the pitch of your song. And then you remove this section, the unneeded frequencies on the bass drum, more or less in the 350, 400 zone. You have to play around with it. Let's just hear it alone. Okay, there's not that much information on this anyway, but you just take it out. Just let's see it. Slightly tubby. Don't need to take that much out. Okay, something in this range. And this is taking care of the low end. Now let's see what we do to the higher frequencies of the kick drum. As you can see, the in mic on the bass drum brings out the batter head, which is actually the pedal head striking the plastic. Now, as I said before, you take out the tubby stuff in this region. In this case, it's 262. Okay, somewhere in this region. And if you do need more definition to the kick drum, you'd bring it out somewhere in this region, on these high frequencies. Okay, that's way too much, but you can definitely hear the batter. If you're trying to make heavy metal music, for example, you need this type of articulation for the kick drum to stand out. Okay, slightly soft, definitely too aggressive. Something in this region. And another very important thing, for the interior microphone placed on the kick drum or the bass drum, you do apply a high pass filter at a relatively high point. This does sound good on its own, but it actually clouds up with the outer microphone. I'll switch on the outer microphone as well, and I'll show you what happens when you apply the high pass filter. Okay, it does sound better actually without the filter applied. Let me just see if it's got the right point for the frequency. As you can see, when the filter is on, something happens to the drum. There seems to be some type of phase cancellation. So what I would do in this case is, you have to find the correct point for the filter, or don't put the filter on at all. Let me see if I can find out where I should apply it. Sounds better without the filter, so that's the way we'll leave it. Let's just hear everything together, and I'll apply and remove the filter just to see if it's helping or hurting. In this particular case, I prefer it without the filter applied. So it's sounding good. It's a lot of low end, a good body on that, which is what we want from the kick drum. And now let's see what we do to the room microphone. To the room microphone, same principles apply. Take out the tubbiness. Here you can hear a definite amount of low mids, or low mid region. So just take that out. You can actually be a bit more aggressive. Okay, and you take out any information with the high pass filter as well. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so hope this helps. If you have any type of question or any doubt or any type of thing that you want straightened out, feel free to send me a message over the YouTube channel. And good mixing, good music. See you soon.